Good afternoon, students. Today we shall do one experiment of simple pendulum. You can see here there is a set of simple pendulum. I have taken a clamp stand and thread, a bob. The one end of the thread is connected to the bob, another end is connected to the clamp. And here in the clamp there is a split cork. Okay, this forms the simple pendulum, right? The aim of the experiment is using a simple pendulum, plot L versus T square graph. Using a simple pendulum, plot length versus T square graph and determine the value of acceleration due to gravity G. So apparatus required are a meter scale. The apparatus required are meter scale, a clamp stand, as you can see, this is the clamp stand, this is a meter scale, and vernier calipers and a stopwatch. You can see here, these are the apparatus required: a stopwatch, a stop clock, right? Then a vernier calipers, a meter rod or meter scale, and clamp stand and a stopwatch. This is the clamp stand, you can see now, which is used for doing the simple pendulum experiment. So this entire setup is called as simple pendulum. What is a simple pendulum? As I have already explained earlier, simple pendulum consists of a heavy bob. You can see here a heavy point mass called as bob being suspended freely from an inextensible and perfectly flexible string. This is the string, that is nothing but a thread. So when you just release it from one end, you see it oscillates about the mean position. So we have studied for small displacements. For small displacements, the oscillating pendulum, the pendulum oscillations are simple harmonic in motion. So using the oscillations of this simple pendulum, we are going to draw the length versus T square graph, where T is time period, and thus we are going to determine the value of acceleration due to gravity G using the simple pendulum experiment. So we know already the theory. What is the theory? That is, time period of oscillating simple pendulum is given by T equal to 2 pi square root of L by G, where L is the length of the simple pendulum and G is acceleration due to gravity. This is the time period of oscillations of a pendulum for small displacements, and we got this equation by considering for the small displacements of the pendulum bob, the bob oscillates simple harmonically about the mean position. This is what we have learned in the theory. When you square it on both sides, we get T square is equal to 4 pi square L by G. So we want to find out the acceleration due to gravity. So G is equal to 4 pi square L by T square. G is equal to 4 pi square L by T square, right? By proper arrangement. So we get this equation. Using this, by substituting the value of length of the oscillating pendulum and time period. Time period means time required for one complete oscillation. Using the experiment, we find out the length for a particular length, what is the time period, and for these values of L and T, we are going to find out the acceleration due to gravity. For different lengths, we are going to have corresponding value of time period. So we are going to have a tabular column consisting of length on one side and time period on the other side, and we draw the graph of length versus T square, and then using that graph also one can find out value of acceleration due to gravity. This is the schematic diagram of simple pendulum as we have drawn earlier. It is one end of the pendulum is connected to the rigid support, the other end is connected to the hook of the pendulum bob, and when it is oscillated, it is set for oscillation through small displacements. The oscillations are simple harmonic in nature, right? Okay, now we will first find out the length of the simple pendulum. The length of the pendulum is measured from the point of rigid support to the center of this bob. To the center of the bob means what? We have to first find out what is the diameter of this given spherical bob. And when we find out the diameter we find out using the vernier calipers. And then we divide the diameter by 2 to get the radius. And thus we get the total length as length of the pendulum from the rigid support to the hook, to the point of support to the point on the surface of the bob, and then we add the radius of the bob. That's how we get total length as length of the thread from the rigid support plus radius of the bob. That gives us total length of the pendulum. Right? Now we will carry out the experiment one by one. We will take some 2-3 readings and accordingly we will be able to calculate the acceleration due to gravity. First, using the vernier calipers, we will find out the diameter of the bob. First, we know the least count of vernier calipers 0.01 centimeter. Least count of vernier calipers is 0.01 centimeter. We will just take 2 readings. So first you have to loosen this and hold it using the vernier calipers. I will find out the exact diameter. The diameter is found out to be, first I will find out the main scale division. Main scale division is 2.4 and the coinciding division is 9th one. So it becomes 2.49 centimeter. So main scale division is 2.4, coinciding division is 9th. Therefore, LC into 9 becomes 0.09. So it becomes 2.49. So it becomes 2.49 centimeter. This is one. Similarly, I will take one more reading. Now, I will again loosen this and I will take one more reading. You have to hold it firmly. Yes. Now it is showing the 2.5. The coinciding division is 2.5 and coinciding division is first one. The main scale division is 2.5, coinciding division is first one. So it becomes coinciding division into LC becomes 0.01. So total reading becomes 2.51. So if you take the mean of this, then mean diameter. So this actually gives you diameter of bob, that is in centimeter. So diameter of the bob, when you take the mean of this, 2.49 plus 2.51 divided by 2. So it comes out to be 2.50. Therefore, diameter is equal to 2.50 centimeter. So radius of the bob becomes 1.25 centimeter. So radius of the bob is 1.25 centimeter. With the help of radius of the bob, I can now find out the length of the bob. So first, for a particular length, we will note down and accordingly we will stretch. Here is the clamp of the stand and this is the rubber split cork. It is not rubber, it is a split cork. And here is the stopwatch. Right? Now we will measure the particular length. So before that, we will have a tabular column. Now we have already found out the radius of the bob. It is 2.5 divided by 2, so it comes out to be 1.25 centimeter. Now, to start with the experiment, we should first set this stopwatch. You can see here, this is the stopwatch. You have to just check whether it is functioning properly or not. Yes, it's functioning. Then set it for ready. Okay, once it is set for ready, next we have to measure the length of the pendulum, length of the pendulum. Now using the scale, I measure the length. You see, I know what is the radius of this spherical bob. So from the end of the hook, I measure this, and already I have measured to certain length. So now it is about 29.75. 28.75. So 28.75 I have actually set it for 28.75 and then pulled it and set it here. From the hook it is 28.75. So 28.75 plus 1.25, it becomes 30 centimeter. So first observation is for total length of 30 centimeter. So my intention is to measure the time period of oscillation, time taken for one oscillation. So first what we will do, we will calculate time taken for 10 oscillations. So I am carrying out time taken for 10 oscillations. You can just watch it carefully. So first I will set it for ready. Okay, now stopwatch is ready for showing the observation. With one hand I am keeping it ready. With another hand I am just displacing it. Okay, I will stay 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it has taken, you can see, 14 seconds. It has taken 14 seconds. So like this, we have to do 2 times 14 seconds. Just remember, it has taken 14 seconds for the first time. Now I will reset it once again for a second observation. Again I will carry out the same procedure, whether the observations are set properly or not, taken properly or not. So what I am doing, again I am taking one more time. Okay, it is now ready. So I am just doing it 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So again you can see it has taken 14 seconds. 14 seconds. So for 30 centimeter length, you can see for 30 centimeters length, time taken for 10 oscillations is 14. For both the readings it is 14. So mean reading T1 plus T2 by 2 again also it becomes 14 seconds. So time taken for one oscillation is mean T divided by 10. So it becomes 1.4 seconds. So 1.4 seconds. So that is the time taken for oscillation for 30 centimeter length. In the same way, now what I will do, I will change the length from 30 centimeter to 40 centimeter. Next to 40 centimeter to 50 centimeter. So like this, we are supposed to take about nearly lengths of the number of observations nearly about 5 to 6. Minimum 5 readings we have to take. First length is 30. Next followed by 40 centimeter, 50 centimeter, 60 centimeter, right? Up to 5, 6, 70 centimeter, so that. Up to that, and then later on we will be able to calculate the value of acceleration due to gravity. So once we get the time period t, then corresponding t square can be calculated. Then by substituting the value of 4 pi square L by t square, one can calculate what is the value of acceleration due to gravity. Now I will increase the length to 40 centimeter. Now for second observation, I have increased the length to 40 centimeter. So I can enter here second observation for 40 centimeter. Okay. Now again I have to reset the stopwatch. Again repeat the same procedure. It is now set for 0. You can see set for 0. Now again I am setting it for ready. Okay. Now for small displacement again I am carrying out for length of 40 centimeter. For length of 40 centimeter. Okay. We'll readjust once again. We'll carry it for 40 centimeter. Okay. Now again ready position. Okay. I think it is observed, it is clear here, right? 1, 2, now it is ready. 1. Okay, now 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now it is showing 16 seconds. You can see here. It is showing nearly 16 seconds. So we can carry out once again. So when the length is increased from 30 centimeter to 14 centimeter, now it is showing 16 seconds. 16 seconds. Now carry out the same way again for the second observation. Time taken for 10 oscillations. Okay. Now again set it for ready. Now 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again you can see it is showing almost same reading, 16 seconds. Okay. So like this, again second reading is 16 seconds. 16 plus 16 divided by 2 again gives mean reading 16 seconds. So thus we get 1.6 seconds. So when we substitute the value of G, you see you will be able to get the value of L and T square, you will be able to get the value of G. G is equal to 4 into 3.14 square into length. Length at the first we took 30 centimeter, so we can take it as 0.3 meter divided by T square. T square is 1.4 whole square. 1.4 whole square. So if you carry out this you are going to get the acceleration due to gravity for first observation. So 14 14s are 196, right? You are getting 1.4 into 1.4, 1.96. Right? 1.96. Right? 1.6 into 1.6 will get 2.56. 2.56. So in this way, for the first observation, using the calculator or using the logarithm table, you can calculate this, or direct simplification also you will be able to get the result. Now similarly for 40 centimeter, what happens? G becomes equal to 4 into 3.14 square into length is now 0.4. Length is 0.4 meter divided by T square. T square is 2.56. Time taken for one oscillation is 1.6. Therefore, for yes, t square becomes 2.56. Right? So, if you calculate this, you will be able to get the result. You can just verify the values and thus find out the value of acceleration due to gravity. Now, if you draw the graph of L versus t square, what kind of graph are you going to get? L versus t square. So, we have observed as the length increases, the time period also increases. So, two observations are enough. So, like that you are supposed to do for next 50 centimeter, 60 centimeter, 70 centimeter, 80 centimeter, nearly 5. For 5 lengths, you are supposed to get corresponding time period, right? Then, once you get time period, if you draw the graph of L versus t square, L versus t square, you have to take the length along x axis, t square along y axis. You will find that length is directly proportional to t square, because you know t is equal to 2 pi square root of L by g. On squaring we get t square is equal to 4 pi square L by g. Therefore, this implies that L is equal to, or t square is directly proportional to L. It is clear from this. T square is directly proportional to L. So, g is acceleration due to gravity, which is constant. 4 pi square is also constant. So, t square is directly proportional to L, or L is directly proportional to t square. T square is directly proportional to L. Square of time period is directly proportional to L. So, if you draw the graph, we will get the points lying on a straight line. So, if you just get some 4-5 observations, you get points lying on a straight line, and if you join them, you will get a straight line graph. This shows that L is directly proportional to t square, or t square is directly proportional to L. So, square of time period is directly proportional to L. Even from this, if you calculate the slope by taking some 2 points and calculate the slope gives you, actually you have to calculate delta L by delta t square. This gives us inverse of the slope. 1 by slope is equal to delta L by delta t square. So, using this value also one can calculate what is the acceleration due to gravity. So, acceleration due to gravity can be calculated g equal to 4 pi square into delta L by delta t square, where delta L by delta t square is inverse of the slope. So, g is equal to 4 pi square into inverse of the slope gives us the acceleration due to gravity. So, this value of acceleration due to gravity can be verified with the values that we are calculating for individual lengths and individual time period. Almost the values will be same. Thus, verification can be done. Okay. So, we conclude from this experiment that the time period of oscillation of a pendulum is directly proportional to square root of length L, because t square is directly proportional to L. T is directly proportional to square root of L. T square is directly proportional to L square. So, if you draw the graph of T versus L, T versus L will be, this is L, this is T. It's going to be a curve. So, this shows that T is directly proportional to L. So, you can verify with the help of these observations. Thank you. Have a nice day.